My name is Thrita Griffith, and I'm 78 years old. And indeed, I did spend 26 years in prison. I was released in 2013. And to go back to the beginning is a long way to go. And I was married for 21 years, and then we divorced, and I became single for the first time since I was 16. And I went a little crazy. Got involved with the wrong people, made poor decisions, it was a crazy time. It was a crazy time. And learned how to carry a gun and be a gangster. And for somebody in their 30s, that was kind of crazy, I think, now that I think back on it. And so there was this young man that I was involved with, and I was a drug dealer, and he was one of my people that hung around me and supposedly protected me. And he was involved with my partner, and she broke up with him, and he didn't take kindly to that. And he was screaming at her. We were in the parking lot of a bar on the county line, and he was screaming at her, and I went over to tell him to cool it and go on. And so he spit in my face and called me some pretty horrific names, and I lost my mind. We met up again and went to this abandoned house that it wasn't really abandoned, it was for sale, but it was back in the woods. And so we were sitting on this porch in a porch swing, and so he brought up stuff he shouldn't have brought up, and so he was smoking dope. And then he said somebody should just put me out of my misery, because he was pretty miserable. But in my stupor and how my mind was running at that time in my life, I pulled out the gun that I had. And so he was taking, as we called it back then, a toke. And I told him to hold it because it was going to be the best toke he ever got. And I put the gun to his head and I shot him twice, as if once wasn't enough. But again, like I said, was not in my right mind, did not make good decisions. And eventually they caught me. I think it was like 2 or 3 days. Well, it was about 4 days, because 3 days before anybody went out to the house and found him sitting in the porch swing. And so when you think back on all the things that happened that night, some of it's funny, some of it's sad. And my friend that was with me, when the gun went off, and I turned around and she was on top of the car. Why or how, I do not know. But that's where she chose to run, I guess. And so I got her in the car and we left. I took the gun back to the person I had got it from and told him what happened. And eventually he told the police, because he too was a drug dealer, and I guess they had been watching him for a long time. And so I had gone home to Arkansas to stay with my mother for, I don't know how long I stayed, 3 or 4 weeks, maybe 2 months. And so then I decided it was a good idea to go back to Lakeland, Florida, where all of this happened. And when I got down there, I wasn't satisfied with just laying low. I had to be seen. So it didn't take them long, and they came and arrested me. And about 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and took me down to the police station. And so, I should have known better than to say anything, but I told them I didn't. And don't know why I told them I didn't. So then I was arrested, was in jail, county jail for, 9 or 10 months. And then I was shipped off to prison in 1988. And so I did my time in several different prisons. At first, they sent me all the way down south past Miami to someplace called Pembroke Pines. I did about 6 years or better down there. And then my mom, who worked for the Department of Corrections for Arkansas, got me shipped back up to the center of the state where it would be easier for her to come visit. And so I stayed there for probably close to 12 years or better.